Hey, what's up guys? It's Ivan, and in this video I want to show you how to create a profitable Facebook ads campaign. I have been doing affiliate and online marketing for the past 7 years, and I have used Facebook ads extensively to not only help promote products and services for other business, but for family and friends as well. And so I want to show you just how easy it is to create an account and get your own campaigns set up. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. So the first thing you need to do to create a Facebook ads campaign is head over to business.facebook.com. I strongly suggest that you create an account here rather than just using your default Facebook account, because this will keep everything in place. It will keep all your accounts in place and allow you to optimize and have way more settings here for your accounts than you would with your regular Facebook account. So if you don't have an account here, you can simply click on create new account. I already have an account, so I'm just going to log in here via my own Facebook account. Once you sign in to your Business for Facebook account, you do have to do a few things. One is create your ads account, which I do have over here, and I will show you how to create your own. And you will need to create a Facebook page because unlike Google Ads, for example, you do need to have a transparent page representing where the ads are coming from. So to do both of these things, we're going to click over here on settings and let's create our ad account first. So we're going to click on add accounts right over here. And I already have an account, but what you will do is simply click on add, and you will be able to create a new account. I already have my one account for this Business for Facebook profile, so I can't create another one. However, you will be able to click here and simply enter the name of your account, and it should be available to you right off the bat, just like that. Simple as that. The next thing you have to do is click on pages and create a page. If you don't have a page that you want to use, again, just click on add. So we're just going to click on create a new page over here. So let's suppose for the purpose of this video, we want to promote my friend's website, fitexpertonline.com. So we want to promote some sort of personal training services. So we're going to say personal training services, for example. For a category, we could enter health, not health spa. So before you click enter, look at the drop-down options and see what's available. So in this case, for example, it could be medical and health, or let's see if we type in fitness and see what we get. Let's say fitness trainer, that describes it pretty well. We're going to leave this bio as optional, but of course you could fill it in. We're going to click next. And then we're telling Facebook that we want to attach this page to this specific Business for Facebook profile. We're going to say we agree. We're going to click on create page. And then it says here that the page has been created. So we're going to click on done. And now, of course, you would ideally want to edit the page. So you're just going to click here. And now what we have to do is assign people to this page so that we can access it. So we're going to click on assign people over here. We're going to select our profile, which should be there automatically if you created this Business for Facebook account. And then we're going to scroll down and click on access to everything right there. We're going to click on assign. And now we will be able to access this page so that we can edit it. We can add some posts, add the description, things like that. So now we can click on the three dots over here. We can click on view on Facebook. And if you don't see any editing options here, you have to make sure that you log in from that account that can edit. So we want to go to the top here, click on see all profiles, and we want to select this option here, personal training services. We want to log in via that account so that now we should be able to edit this page. So we can, let's just close out of that. We can add a picture here. We can add a picture here. We can add some posts, everything like that. So I'm just going to take a few moments and just fill in some of these details just to make it look nice and ready for our ads. All right, so I went ahead and just added some images to make the page look a little more presentable. I also added a post, and of course you can add any other pieces of information you want, add a bio, add some more details here, anything like that. You can do that on your own time. So this is the page we'll be using. We can close out of that. And by the way, for the ad account as well, you want to make sure that you add yourself as a user for that ad account that we created, the same way that we did here for this page. So once we're done with that, you would go into billing and payments and just make sure that you enter your payment information so that the process for creating the campaigns and running the ads is smoother, so there are no issues in between and things like that. So once you created your page and your ad account, we're ready to start creating our campaigns. So I'm going to click on these three lines over here and click on Ads Manager. If you don't see this option over here, you could click on the three lines over there, and that should give you many more options right here. So we're going to click on Ads Manager here. And so now we're going to create a new campaign. In this case, let's use my friend's website as an example, fitexpertonline.com. And this is the site we'll be using. And so we're going to come back here. So Facebook ads follows 3 layers for any campaign. You have the campaign level at the very top, which is where you will be able to set your objective so that Facebook knows who to show your ads to. Next, you have the ad set level, and this is where you'll be able to set all your targeting and set your budget as well. And lastly, you have the ads, and that is where you actually create the ads with the image, with the text to show people on Facebook. So we're going to start with a brand new campaign. We're going to start with that topmost layer. We're going to click on create over here. And this is where we can set our campaign objective. So do you want an awareness objective, which will make it so that Facebook shows your ads to as many people as possible, regardless of whether those people are likely to click or not? The next objective you have is traffic, where Facebook will show your ads most likely to people to actually click on the links to your site. Next, you have engagement, where Facebook will show your ads to people most likely to engage, who have a history of engagement. So people who follow, people who like, who comment, who share posts, anything like that. Next, you have the lead objective. So if you want to collect leads, Facebook will show your ads most likely to people that are willing to input their information to be added to your list. Next, you have app promotion. So Facebook will show your ads to people most likely to install your apps. And next, you have sales. So Facebook will show your ads most likely to purchase your product or service. So depending on what it is you're looking for. In our case, I want to run a traffic campaign. So I want people to click on and visit my friend's website. So I'm going to click on traffic. You also have this option at the top, whether you want to set auction or reservation. Auction basically works as an auction, where the prices for your clicks will vary depending on how many other people bid, your niche, things like that. And then you have reservation, which will give you a more certain cost per click. So the general rule of thumb and the one that we can use for our campaign objective of traffic is going to be auction. So that's the one we're going to go with. So we're going to come down here and click on continue. And then we're going to select manual traffic campaign so that I can show you all the settings here. We're going to click on continue. And so congratulations, we've created our campaign. Now we're going to do our ad set. So let's quickly finish this up and enter a name for this. So let's say pick training personal fitness. And then if you do have a category over here, you would select it. If you have any of these categories, you do have to declare it because Facebook has some restrictions in terms of the targeting for these categories. So if you are involved in credit, ads, employment, housing, or social issues, you should declare it here. Our ads aren't involved in any of these, so we're just going to leave it blank. You can review your campaign details over here, and then you could also set a campaign budget if you want to. So if you click on over here, you could say that you want to spend, for example, $50 per day on this specific campaign. I'm going to leave it off, and we will set our budget at the individual ad set level where we will have more control over our targeting and the budget for those specific targeting groups. So everything else looks good, and we're going to click on next. And now we're going to get to the ad set part, and this is where we set all the targeting. So here's where we can set the optional cost per goal. So we want to maximize the number of clicks to our site. So we can set here, for example, we want to spend no more than 50 cents per click. That's our goal. Of course, sometimes we will spend more, sometimes we will spend less, but Facebook will try to deliver us clicks for this range. We're going to scroll down. You can leave this dynamic creative option as off. What this does is it allows Facebook to generate combinations of all the assets that you're going to input. So if you input different images, different text, different headlines, Facebook will mix and match those to create different combinations. So we're going to do these ourselves. So we're going to keep it at off. Next, we're going to scroll down and select the budget. So for this specific ad group, we can set the budget as $20 per day. You could also set a lifetime budget if you want to. So if you want to say, I don't want to spend more than $350 on this specific ad set, then you can set that amount here. I'm going to leave it at daily and say 20. You would then enter a start date and a potential end date. I'm going to close that off. And it says the start date is in the past, so we're just going to reset that. And scroll down, and you can set the ad scheduling over here if you like. If you click on over here, you will be able to say when you want to show your ads, between what time ranges. So we're going to keep that off, and then we're going to scroll down, and then this is where we're going to be setting our targeting. This is a large part of what makes your Facebook campaign successful, so make sure to pay attention and select the right options. So we're going to click on show more options over here. This is where you can set the minimum age, you can set the language. If you want to edit anything, just look for the edit option over there. However, we do want to fine tune and we want more specific targeting options. So we're going to click on switch to original audience options over here. We're going to say use original, and you will see that we will have some more options here now. So if we scroll down, now we have more variability when it comes to age. We can set specific age groups. So for example, we want to target people from, let's say we want to target people who can afford these sessions, right? So maybe somebody who is 24 years old or so, 24 to 60. We want to target all genders. And then here we can set the demographics or interest groups. You can also choose the location here. So we want to target, for example, Canada, and we want to target United States. So we're going to select that. We're going to click on it. So we're just targeting Canada and United States here. We're going to scroll down. We want to target people that speak English because our ads will be in English. So we're going to click edit over here and we're going to type English all. And then this is where we can set our interest group. So ideally, we want to target people that are interested in fitness. People maybe that follow certain fitness models, anything like that. Now, you have two approaches when it comes to setting your interests. One approach is creating a bunch of different demographics and interest groups and then adding them all together to fine-tune, to really laser down your audience. So for example, I could put in here, let's say fitness and see what we get. So maybe physical fitness here. So people that are interested in this group about physical fitness. And then next, I'm going to come over here and say define further. So this is called the laser focus approach, where you add all these interest groups and categories together, and people must fit every single one of them together in order to see your ads. So for example, we want to target people that are interested in physical fitness, but we also want to target engaged shoppers. This is a group of people that, as you can see here on the right, it says behavior. That means these are people on Facebook that have a history of buying something. So let's suppose we want to target these two. So right now, we'll be targeting people that are interested in this group and are engaged shoppers. We could narrow this down even further. We can say define further, and we can say we also want to target something else to do with fitness. Let's say, for example, people that like LA Fitness. We know these people likely go to the gym or have heard about it, so we want to target these as well. So now, as you can see, we're targeting people that like this group, LA Fitness, that like physical fitness, and that are engaged shoppers. So you can keep going on and on. I'd say an ideal audience for you to have is anywhere from 300 to 600,000. So this is still way too broad. This is too many people. So your ad will most likely not speak to everybody, right? So that's one approach you can do. Another approach you can do is really fine tune and have only one interest group per ad set. So for example, instead of physical fitness, we could narrow this down even more. So we could click on, for example, suggestions, and we could look for a group that has less people, that isn't as broad. So for example, over here, you could see the fitness trainer size on the right-hand side there. You see from 50,000 to 60,000 people. That's how many people have the job title as fitness trainer. So this probably isn't our ideal audience, because these people probably don't need fitness training, but we could look for something else. So we could keep going, and maybe even we can click browse, and we can go to demographics, go to, let's say, interests, go to fitness and wellness, and just keep looking, right? So over here, we can see the list as well, the size of the list. So what you could do is, for example, we want to target people that like physical exercise. So we're going to select these two, okay? So they're pretty similar. Now, the audience is huge, that is true. But if you want to target a large audience segment and have a lower cost per click, but reach many more people, you can do so this way. I don't recommend adding a bunch of different interest groups together, because then if your campaign is successful, you won't be able to tell which specific interest group contributed to your success. So that's why I separate out this strategy into two. One is this, where you just have one interest group per ad set. And the other strategy is the laser-focused approach, where you keep on defining further until your audience list is anywhere from 300 to, say, 600,000. That is up to you. So we're just going to add here at least engaged shoppers. And maybe let's add one more. Let's say define further. And let's say something with working out. Let's say fitness exercise, and we actually already have that. So let's say CrossFit. Okay. So now our audience list is still pretty huge. So what I'm going to do is just keep on narrowing this down until we have a list of about 300 to 600,000. So there you go. I've narrowed it down to have about 400,000 people in our audience list, which is very, very specific. So if we scroll up, we're targeting people that are engaged shoppers that like the Facebook groups to do with physical exercise and fitness, that like groups to do with CrossFit. With physical exercise, we can close that out since we already have it. That like LA Fitness, the gym, that like running, that like Anytime Fitness, the gym, that like Crunch Fitness, that like Good Life Fitness, that like Planet Fitness, that like Fitness and Wellness, and that like Muscle and Fitness. All of these together. And this is a publication, so this is some sort of website maybe. So people that like all of these are much more narrowed down than just a general audience list of somebody who likes a certain group. And that brings our audience list to something more manageable. So now that we've done that, what I do like to do in general is scroll up to the top here and just give this ad set a name related to the targeting that we set. So we said Canada plus US. We said, I believe, 25 to 60. And then we said all those different groups. So we can list a few of them. So let's say engaged shoppers. We can say fitness. We can say gym lovers, something like that. Okay. So something to give you an idea for when you do duplicate this ad set and create variations of it. Maybe you want to test different genders or different ages or different interest groups. You will be able to tell at a glance what this ad set is composed of. So we're going to scroll back down here to the bottom. And now we have to talk about placements. So where are we going to show our ads? So we're going to click on Show More Options over here. And we're actually going to deselect this Advanced Plus placement so that we can manually choose where we want to set our ads. So now over here, you can come in here and you can choose where exactly do you want to show your ads. Maybe just Facebook, or maybe just Instagram, or maybe just Messenger. That's up to you. We're going to show our ads on just Facebook. And then this is what it will look like. So over here, if you hover over any of these placements on the right-hand side right there, you will see what that looks like. So we're just going to have it on Facebook. And then if you want to fine tune, if you click on that little green triangle or just that triangle, you'll be able to say exactly where you want it. So do you want it on the Instagram feed as well, for example, or just the Facebook feed? So that's how you would set that option. So we're going to click next, and congratulations, we're done with our ad set as well. So now last but not least, we're going to work with our ad. So we're going to leave the ad name here until we add some more details. Let's select our Facebook page, which was the personal training services that we've added. If you want to advertise on Instagram, you will need to integrate Instagram with Facebook and add that Instagram page here. So we're going to scroll down here. You can choose if you want to have just a single image or video, or a carousel, so a collection of different images or videos, or a collection where you have multiple different images shown on one, rather than people having to scroll like with the carousel. So we're going to scroll down. We're going to leave multi-advertiser ads here as is, and we're going to enter our website URL. So I'm just going to come here. I'm going to copy this by clicking Control-C, paste it here, and that's the site that we're going to be using. So Facebook is going to scan the site and give some suggestions, some ideas, but we're going to scroll down. And the first thing we want to do is add a media. So for personal training services, let's click on add image over here. And what I'm going to do is, again, just go to the free website tool, pexels.com. And I'm going to type in personal training, and let's see if we can pull some free image up over here. Okay, so I wasn't able to find any image of virtual personal training. So just for simplicity, we're going to use an image like this. I would probably in the actual ad use an image of my friend, but I don't have any of those on me right now. So we're just going to use some images here. So we're just going to click here. We're just going to download a large or medium is more than enough. You don't need to make it huge. And then we're going to come back here and we're going to click upload. And we're just going to select that image and we're going to select it and click next. And now it's going to show us what this image is going to look like in different formats. So you could crop it if it doesn't look good. If you're seeing that a major part of the ad has been left out or something like that, you can choose to crop it. But everything looks good here as is. We're going to click next. We will allow enhancements so that Facebook can modify the image as needed to make it look good. And then we're going to click done. And there you go. So we have the first part of the ad done, which is the image. Now we need to add the text. So let me just show you this here. This is primary. This is headline. And this is description, just to show you where everything is. So the primary text will show up just above there. The headline will show up just below the website and the description optionally just below the headline. If your headline is long enough, the description will not show. So keep that in mind. So for the primary text, let's say something simple, maybe looking to get fit, but don't want to leave the house. Our virtual training sessions got you covered. Get a 1-week free virtual training session with Arturo. And then on my Windows, I'm going to click the Windows sign and a period to pull up this menu. And then I'm going to say hand, and I'm going to add this little hand over here, pointing right. You could also use this option over here, but I don't think it's as good as the default one that comes with the Windows or Mac. So we're just going to keep it that as is. And then we're going to paste the site over here as well, put a little space, and that should be it. So that's just something we can use. I came up with at the top of my head. If you want to add more variations, you can click on add text option over here, and then you can add another variation. So maybe we can copy this whole thing. We can paste it here, but then we can change something up. So we can, for example, delete this and just say, how about this? Get a free 1-week virtual training session. And then let's say we want to keep this short and sweet, and we want to test how this short and sweet message does against the longer one, for example. So we're going to leave it at that. For the headline, we could say free 1-week virtual training session. Then we can come in here and make this bigger, or make that title case. Again, you could click on add headline option and add a variation if you like. You could enter the optional description, but as you can see over here, it won't even show because it's taken up the whole space. But we could say something like that in the description. That might be too long, but if there is space, then that's what will show up. And again, if you want to add more variations, you can add so here. Now, for the call to action, you can choose what you like, any one of these. I think learn more is the safest bet, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Then we're going to scroll down. We already have the website URL here. We also have the display URL. So for the display URL, maybe we're just going to say this. You can't change the display URL to be different than what the website URL is here, so don't get any wrong ideas. But this does look much nicer than this whole thing with the HTTPS, so that's why we're going to add that here. What you could also do is include a WhatsApp button, a call button, instant form button, anything like that. So if you click here, you would have to connect your WhatsApp, and then people will also be able to contact you via WhatsApp. But we're going to click none over here. We're going to scroll down. You could translate your ads into other languages if you want to, but I do recommend doing it manually, not using AI, because sometimes things could get lost in translation. And for tracking, we're going to leave as is. If you do want a tracking video, how to set up the Facebook Pixel, I do have a video on that, so make sure to check that out. So that looks pretty good. This is what our ad will look like. And you can see all the different formats over here. You can see the different placements on mobile, on tablet, on desktop. You can click on advanced preview if you want to see more options. And this is what the ad will look like on different formats with different dimensions. So I think that looks pretty good. So we're going to close out of that, and then we're going to click publish. And then what you could also do is actually preview the ad in your actual Facebook account via the phone or the desktop. So if you click over here and you say see post on Facebook post with comments, you will be able to see the ad as you scroll your Facebook newsfeed. Alternatively, you can send it to your phone and then you can see it on your phone. So you can do that as well if you like. Other than that, if we close out of this, we should see it say processing in draft, and eventually it should say under review. So the ad will be under review by the Facebook team, which will usually give you a reason for why your ad was disapproved if it was disapproved. And if you want to change anything with the ad, you can just simply turn it on or off over here. You could also select the ad and then do anything you want with it. You can click edit if you want to edit. You can turn off, change the name, change the page associated with it, anything like that. You can delete it entirely. If you want to run split tests, which is what I suggest, you can simply come in here and then just click on duplicate. And then we can keep the current setup. So exactly as it is for that original campaign, we just want one copy. So we're going to duplicate it. And now we can change this up. So for example, if we want to change either the interest groups, which we can do, or let's say the age, which is 24, actually not 25. But let's say for this age group, we want to target, let's say 18 to 24 or to 23. So we can do that change. We can scroll up, and then we would change the ages here. So 18 to 23. And then we're going to publish. And then this is going to be our separate ad set. So right away, right off the bat, which is why we changed the name to reflect the targeting, we can see this is 18 to 23 and this is 25 to 60. And then we would have to go in here, and then we would potentially change the ad if you want to have a different ad for that. But that would be it. So congratulations on creating your Facebook ad campaign. And as you can see, the campaign says under review. And so that is it. Congratulations. If you want to access any of the features of your business account, you can just click on these 3 lines over here and you see all the options here. If you want to set up tracking, conversion tracking, and pixels, I do suggest you check out my pixel video. I will link it in the description. Other than that, if you guys enjoyed this video, I do invite you to check out my website at ivanmanna.com, where I offer my training courses over here, the Facebook Ads Mastery and the Retargeting course, which can help you take your campaigns to the next level. I also offer you a free affiliate marketing guide, so you can learn about affiliate marketing and how it works and how you can potentially get started right now. And that is all for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next one.